Three. Yeah. All right. So, hey, hello everyone. We have another. We're back with another interview at Kine Media with our Kine Mobilecast, and today we have a special guest, our very talented model, with a really very diverse and interesting, diverse background and interesting story, Aliya Anthes. Hello, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, so Aliya is another model that's gonna be at the March 26th Botanical Garden Extravaganza, and yeah, so we're just trying to feature her, give her the spotlight. So Aliya, go ahead, like give a little brief introduction.
Okay.
Go as deep as you want. Tell your story. What are you like? She's Bangladeshi, but lived in China. Like a whole bunch, does a
So
whole bunch
I
of
was
stuff.
born in Bangladesh and
Yeah.
I was adopted by American parents that grew up in Pittsburgh. So that's why I'm here. But they were international school teachers. So we traveled around and lived in different countries. And then I went to respiratory school for college and at Pitt Johnstown. And then when I graduated, I got a job at a hospital in Pittsburgh. And I've been working there ever since.
Nice. That's a very. That was a lot shorter than I thought it was gonna be. I was like, so, but you also like you went to high school. Was it high school in Shenzhen? Not Guangzhou.
Yeah. So I went to 2 years of high school were in Morocco, Rabat, Morocco, and then my last 2 years of high school was in Guangzhou, China. And yeah, my parents they taught overseas in international schools, and so that's how we ended up kind of traveling the world. And but yeah, now I'm just boring. I just live here. I just live here, and I have two kids, and I kind of started modeling because I had really bad like postpartum, not really depression, but anxiety, and I kind of just forgot who I was as a person. I kind of was defined by being a mom, and then I would go to the hospital and work at the hospital, and then come home and just be a mom, and I really did nothing for myself. And so I just randomly met a photographer a couple years ago, and it was February 2020 was my first photo shoot, and I saw the photos. It was kind of just a for fun photo shoot that I did with her, and I saw the photos, and I just couldn't believe it was me. It was so crazy. Um, so yeah, and then I don't know, I just fell in love with the whole experience, and it was really empowering. I recommend doing a professional photo shoot for any woman, regardless if you're a model or not. It's just very empowering just to see yourself from a different perspective. It gives you a lot of confidence, and it's fun. It's something that I can do to get out of the house, get away from my kids, and just be an individual person for a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So if you guys, she has like some really nice photos on her Instagram. So it's AGA underscore PGH mod, like short for Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
PGH model. So it's really good. It's like you can check them out. She has some like interesting photos that you on recent ones too that you might like. Anyway, but yeah. So and how long have you been modeling for?
Just
Or when did
2 years,
2 years,
about
2 years.
2 years.
Gotcha. Okay. And then you said it was a way for you to like I guess pursue like find an identity outside of all that, right? So yeah.
Yeah, just something, honestly, just something fun to do that's different, different than being in a hospital and wearing scrubs. I mean, 90% of the time I wear scrubs or my pajamas at home. So
Got yeah
it's nice to just get glammed up every once in a while and, do something different.
yeah 100%. So how I'm for in your journey of modeling for 2 years, like how have you found your approach, or is there like a certain aesthetic you're going for that you want to like, or like have you seen how have you like
Like a
evolved your
certain
style?
specialty or
Yeah,
something like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah.
Not really. I kind of just I do just portraits. Like I've been in some magazines, so it's like some editorial photography. I've also done some runway. I've done this will be my fourth fashion show. I did New York Fashion Week last September,
Very nice.
which was really fun. That was actually my first fashion show ever, and I was really
uh,
nervous because it
oh
was
wow.
New York. but it was super fun. A lot of good experience there, just like meeting people, seeing how things go. You know, you just kind of get thrown into things, and it's very chaotic. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and hoping to do some more in the future.
Very nice. And then how do you balance this all with being a mother and a
It's
full-time
hard.
job?
It's hard. I usually try to do things on my days off where both my kids are in school,
Mm,
or on the weekends when my husband's home, so that he just stays home with them, and then I
mm.
can, go for a couple hours and like do a shoot or do a music video. I'm finishing up a music video, so I'm excited about
Oh,
that
very
coming
nice.
out soon.
Yeah. Uh, are there like models that you look up to that you kind of like model your style after or whatever, or your approach?
Um, so my favorite model is Winnie Harlow.
Okay.
She's amazing. I don't know. I love what she's about. She's about trying to help girls overcome being bullied, because she was bullied as a little
Mm,
girl because of her skin condition. And she, everybody made fun of her, and now she's like this super gorgeous, famous model. And a lot of little girls look up to her and think like, wow, like she used to be bullied, and now look at her, she's so confident and she's so beautiful and strong. And I remember I used to, when you're a teenager and you get those like 17 magazine or different teen magazines, and they have like a lot of it is just ads, and they have ads of like Maybelline and like these women like looking so like strong and beautiful. And I've always kind of felt like, wow, that would be so cool to like to be in there and to have, girls look up to you. And so that's kind of why I just love her, is because she's just all about, empowering women to just be yourself. And if you love yourself, then it shouldn't matter what other people think. And hopefully other people will see, your beauty just from you being confident in yourself.
oh, very nice. Yeah. So I noticed like a common theme or like thread throughout that is for your in your personal journey is that whole self-empowerment, self-acceptance, like especially coming after you said postpartum depression or whatever, and then like finding your identity. So like what kind of can you give some more insight into that, and like how you've come to, I guess, build your own confidence in that I don't know, that's some like as part of a story that you would like other women to take away from?
Um, do it slowly at a time. Like you can't just do it overnight. A lot of people think that like they see my pictures and like pictures in like lingerie and stuff and bodysuits, and like, oh my gosh, how do you have the courage, the confidence to
Mhm.
do that? That's crazy. Especially like some people at work, like other moms. Like I would never have the confidence to do that. And it didn't happen overnight. Like I said, it took me a lot. It took me, probably 3 years after having kids to really get back to being okay with my body. And I know a lot of moms face the same issues where they just don't feel good about themselves, because your body changes so much. And you have to realize that it doesn't happen instantaneously. It's like people think that you should, bounce back after having a baby and be like the same 110 person that you were, but that's just not how it happens. It happens slowly. And obviously like you have to work on like eating and working out and all that stuff. But even if you don't, you should still just be confident in who you are, regardless. And but yeah, it's very difficult. It's difficult. Like after it's really hard. Um, and it's a struggle for I think all women, to be okay with the way that they look.
Interesting. You're an inspiration to us all. That's a really awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I'd like to, okay, so you spent 2 years in Morocco, and this kind of like just a hard left turn. So, so hold on, but we'll get back to that. It's like kind of I'm trying to tie this all together. So you spent 2 years in Morocco. Can you? How was living in Morocco like?
It was I loved it. It was very how I don't know, it was we lived on the beach, but it wasn't a sandy beach. It was a very rocky beach, but it gave us a lot of freedom to just kind of like go out your front door and explore the little rock pools, like tide pools and stuff, like when
Hmm.
you're a kid. And It's definitely a lot different than China. I remember thinking when we were there how different it was. And like, for example, when we lived in Morocco, you couldn't really get anywhere very easily. It was kind of like the suburbs here where you have to drive everywhere, and you don't have a lot of freedom because you have to have your parents drive you around, and there isn't a lot of like things to do in the actual city. It's mostly
Mhm.
just markets. So as far as that, like, it was mostly just like you go to your friends' houses and you rely on your parents, or a lot of the kids had drivers to
Oh.
take you to and from places. But in China, it was very different because everybody took taxis. Like, no one had cars, and you
Mm.
just take taxis everywhere. And we had we had a little card that had where we wanted to go in English, and then next to it, it had it in Mandarin, so
Mhm.
that we could just point to it and tell, like, the taxi driver, like, oh, we want to go to the mall,
Mm.
so this is what the mall is, and then they
Mm.
would just take you there. And yeah, so it was it was a lot more independent when, like, we would, hop in taxis with our friends and just go to Starbucks, or like go to the mall, or we would go out dancing because they don't have age there for
Yeah,
things. So
that is
we would
true.
just go out dancing. That was like our thing on the weekends. So we just go, and but yeah, it was fun. It was different.
And then how do you like living in Pittsburgh? It's quite a change from all of that, I would imagine.
It is, and I miss it a lot. I really miss traveling. It's I don't know, um, I really hope that someday I can take my kids traveling to different places. Do a big trip every couple of years, because I think that's really important for just to experience different things and the way people live. It changed the way that I view the world, for sure. Living in different places, and seeing. So I also lived in India and Malaysia and Bangladesh, and just seeing the way that 80% of the world lives. It's very eye opening, and it makes you feel very lucky that we get to live the way that we do. And I think that changes your perspective on just everything. And I really want my kids to be able to experience that, so that they also realize how lucky they are. Because right now, like, they just live in this little tiny bubble, and I really hope that they, I don't know, don't grow up narrow-minded because of it. I have that fear for them, because I grew up so differently than they did. So I don't know. I like it though. I've always wanted. It's funny because um, when I first was starting to look at different colleges and stuff, I wanted to become a teacher, and I wanted to be an international school teacher like my parents, so that I
Mm.
could travel the world and have kids in that same environment, like I always knew. But then I changed my mind, and I was like, you know what? I kind of just want to be in one place for a while. And I kind of missed that growing up too, where you have the same friends your whole life. You have your friends from kindergarten, and they're there with you through everything. And I never had that because we moved every 4 years or so. And so I never really had that. And so I kind of wanted that too. So I was okay staying here. I don't know. I like it. I like the stability. I like the routine that we have going here. So yeah, I like it.
Very nice. And you
Yeah.
mentioned how like at work there's other moms that you work with, and like they look up, I would assume they look up to you, like, oh, I could never, yeah, as you said, they're like, I can never see myself, modeling like that, or they're not confident in their body. So like, how, I'm sure that has helped you build your own confidence, right?
It
And like you're like,
has, yeah. It has in a way, but there's also all the haters out there. There's
haters gonna hate, haters hate because they
surprisingly,
hate you.
there's a lot of haters, especially at the hospital. A lot of the nurses, like, have come up to me like,
Interesting.
"Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're posting that stuff. That's so inappropriate to be like, posting pictures like that on the internet, like, and all this stuff." And and it's made me question it as well, in a bad way. Like, oh my God, am I doing something wrong by modeling, like, different types of photo shoots and stuff? And but then of course you have the people who are very supportive, and do, like, look up to you, and say that they're very inspired, and like they didn't think that like I know a couple people who said that they've always wanted to model, but then they had kids and it was too late. And so it is also nice to kind of prove to them that it's never too late to do something that you want to do. I think the modeling world has changed so much, even from 10 years ago. I actually auditioned for the Doherty modeling agency downtown when I was 20 or 21. Yeah, 21, right when I moved here. And they rejected me because of my height, because I'm not 5'6", I'm 5'4". And so I think a lot of things have just changed in the modeling world. Like I feel like anybody could really do it if they really want to. It's just about going out and just starting, one photo shoot at a time. And then like how I basically get my jobs is from Instagram. People see my pictures and then they contact me and say, hey, like I have this like photo shoot for my jewelry products. How much do you charge? Like, would you mind doing it with me? And so that's kind of just how I do things. I have mixed feelings about agencies anyway, and I like to do things on my own time. So, that's kind of why I just do my thing and see what happens.
Very nice, very nice. That's really dope. Yeah. So, that's just you just have a very interesting sort of like, yeah, you're all about it's women's empowerment. You have such a diverse upbringing, very eclectic, different experiences that have helped shape you to who you are, and you being like open-minded and adventurous, and then as well as like continue being. Do you see, like, let's say your modeling journey as something bigger than yourself because of the women that are inspired by you, and just based on your, I don't know, that's the feeling, that's the vibe I get. I'm just would you say that?
I guess, yeah. I mean, I feel like my modeling journey was inspired by just honestly wanting to do something fun for myself. And then as I started doing it, I kind of thought, wow, like maybe this is something I can really do. And then of course you start questioning everything, like, oh, I'm too old, I'm too old, I have kids, like there's like everybody's so picky about their models. But I think it's about just enjoying what you do. I don't think it matters how far you go. Like if you feel like you are successful in it, then you are. And that's really all that matters. I never plan on becoming like a huge famous model or anything. But I'm doing local stuff. And like, to me, I feel like I've been successful with it.
Awesome. So if you had like a young woman come up to you and be like, oh, how can I become, what kind of advice would you give a young woman who wants to be more confident, or she's like, how can I be more like you? You could take that question however you want.
So I've had some people message me and say, hey, how did you get into modeling? Because I've always kind of wanted to, but I never really could. I've also had some like healthcare people say that, or like medical students that have contacted me over social media and have been like, wow, I didn't think that I could actually get into modeling because of healthcare. And, and I don't think that's true at all. But what I tell people is just start slow, start small. Don't think that, oh, all of a sudden you do one photo shoot and then you're gonna have all these jobs. Like it's really not like that at all. You just kind of you just have to start doing photo shoots and like getting the pictures that will get you noticed. It's, people think that getting free photos is also the best way to, I mean, obviously it's financially better, but you have to invest. If you really want a good outcome, you have to invest in photos, for photographers that are really good to get those quality photos that you need to get noticed. Just posting selfies, like you're not going to get the quality of photos that people are looking for when they are looking through a portfolio. And so you really, really need to invest in those photos and just like start doing one photo shoot at a time.
Very nice. We're coming to the end of our interview. So here's there's this question that's on the survey,
Okay.
that just kind of, but so it's like, if you were, and you could take as long as you want to think about it. If you were to die tomorrow, what's one message that you think whether your audience or humanity needs to hear today?
Oh gosh. um, so I think about this a lot. I actually working in healthcare and working in the ER and seeing people dying a lot at work. And seeing families, torn apart like in 1 second. 1 minute their life is like this, the 1 minute it's completely changed. I think about this a lot, like with my kids, like, oh, what if I get into a car accident coming home and then they grow up with that mom? I think about this a lot. And and then after my mom died, it really kind of changes your perspective too. You really just have to enjoy the moments that you have, and that sounds so cheesy, but it's true. You really do. Like if you're doing something that you enjoy, like for example, like if I go and I'm doing a photo shoot and I just really am like in the moment, sometimes I like stop and just take a moment and think to myself, this is so amazing. I'm having so much fun. Like just remind yourself that you are enjoying life. And I feel like a lot of times, like we're just so busy with life that things just go by and then you don't even realize what happened because it's just everything is just such a blur. And then before you know it, like it's gone. And I think that it's really important to stop and just realize like that, I'm here right now and I'm having a moment and I'm enjoying it. And I think and that's what life is all about. It's about enjoying the small moments, even if you're just sitting on the couch, with your family, drinking a beer and watching a movie, like just enjoying their company and just look over at them and say, this is my family. I'm having a really good moment right now, and just enjoy it.
Very, very nice. That was a very beautiful close to the final answer to the question. Cherish the moments you have and with the people you care about. So yeah, Aliya Anthes,
Alia,
Aliya Anthes. Thank you for your time so much.
thank you so much for
Um,
having me.
yeah, no problem. Would you like to shout out anybody or say one last word to your fans before we close?
Just keep following each other's journey, just keep empowering each other. Just don't hate on anybody because you don't know what people are going through. So just love each other and just keep supporting everyone.
Oh yeah, all good vibes. All right, so catch her at the March 26th Botanical Garden Extravaganza. And Aliya, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for everyone who tuned in. So we'll catch you later.
Bye.
Bye bye.